Welcome, everybody. It is episode 9 of the Bento Boxcast. Ooh.
Hello.
I cannot wait to get into this one today, brother man. It is such a good day for some anime. We are the most animeist podcast in all the lands, in every single one. Welcome back. So, as you guys know, the Bento Boxcast is all about the anime. It's all about the good stuff. All about, just what we know and love, of course. Now, that being said, I could not do this alone. If you guys heard his sexy little voice in the background, I'm here, of course, with Rafa. Rafa, how you doing, my big man?
What's up, dude? Doing good. I just woke up, so I sound like shit. I apologize, but I'm about to drink a little bit of Gatorade right here. Look at it. Some of that lemon lime Gatorade.
It's okay.
Those little yum. So hopefully I don't sound like shit no more.
No, you sound beautiful,
damn it! I'm already cursing. Fuck! Oh my god!
We're totally keeping that one in. So apparently, on the last one, right, with our editor John, who helped us out, of course, he said that he was laughing really hard with us. So in case you guys did not know, we're gonna try to go on a more not necessarily PG, but less cussing, basically, right? So we're going to try not to swear as much in these pods so we can get it out there to as many people as possible, because y'all know how YouTube be. And we just trying to get that out there, to everybody and for people to enjoy this anime goodness. But I'm going to stop.
Also, I don't want to sound...
Go ahead.
I don't want to sound so ignorant,
Okay.
You sound ignorant. You sound ignorant when you curse. I don't want to sound like that no more, Hector.
I mean,
I'm smart.
We're gonna take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start with this, and then just keep on improving with this thing.
And then I'll read a book eventually.
Okay. Wow.
Step at a time.
True. I'm gonna go from manga to books real quick. First, we gotta check that cussing first, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I too am a victim.
Always gotta be the victim.
Nah, dude. Oh my god. I don't even know the term for it too. I'm a criminal. I guess we're going to say that.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. You're a scumbag.
Okay.
You're a bad guy.
Wow. But, okay, so last time we normally ask what we're watching, right, every week. But this time I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to give you a curveball on this one, my friend.
Wait a minute.
So, I'm going to ask you real quick. What anime world would you live in? Doesn't matter what anime, what genre, whatever it is. Which one would you want to be a part of and be in?
Now, I kind of have a follow-up question to that. So is it like me right now, as in, me, old man Rafa, or like I get to live my life, like I'm born, I'm a baby, and then like I live my life through that anime world? Is it like that?
Okay.
Or do I just like teleport through there?
So it's gonna be isekai-esque. Let's say you know what I'm saying? You meet an unfortunate timely death here, right? In this beautiful world. And then you teleport to a whatever fantasy world that you want to. It doesn't matter, fantasy, real life, but it's anime. So you go straight into an anime world.
Dang, what could it be? I mean, I could say the easy stuff like Pokemon. And I feel like it's way too easy, Like everybody's gonna say Pokemon because Pokemon's awesome, Like I'll just be like the oldest trainer ever, running around catching Pokemon and shit, and stuff. What world do you have one? Let me think.
Honestly, and this is kind of just because I want, a power, like a superpower. So I either want to be, so it's a mix of two, because there's both, two types of powers in there. So I either want to be in the Fire Force realm, right? Because I want to be a fire soldier. I forgot what the terminology they have.
But that's kind of going against what your setup though, because if you're going isekai route, that means you as yourself as you are right now is ending up in that world.
But
so
here's the twist. Now, some isekais, you spawn in with like a special trait.
You didn't say that, my guy. That's what I was asking. Because if we're doing isekai, you are going in like, bro. Fire Force ain't no video game. There's none of that stuff. In Fire Force, you're born with the power you have for the most part, right? If you have the power, you're born with it. No, I don't care if you got transported from another world. You yourself. You don't have powers in Fire Force. Don't tell me you do. That's what I was asking. If I was
Okay.
born in it, if I
Okay.
was
So
born in
what?
the world,
With that being said, right? With what you're saying, with your little twist on it, right? So I'm gonna go to the
uh,
Konosuba world because of the fact that when I die, right? You know how he went through the little meeting with the goddess, and
right?
they're like, you get one special thing that you gotta have with you. So there you go. That's my loophole to what you're
Okay,
what you're doing.
all right.
I'm gonna go to
I accept.
Konosuba.
I
They're gonna give me a
accept.
power, or something, or they're gonna give me the
I
opportunity to
accept.
ask for one thing, and that's what I'm gonna ask for. Give me
I
abilities.
accept that.
So
I accept that one. That's a good one. Konosuba was a really good one, by the way. I accept that answer. It checks the boxes that I laid out for you. Um, Dang, man. Okay, so I don't want to say Konosuba was a good one. I don't want to say that one though. What would be one that would like
Oh, I
work
just
for me?
thought of another one I'd go into too. Man,
Go
dude.
ahead. Go
Uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
right. So if it wasn't Konosuba, I'd go to One Piece, the One Piece realm. Only because
Oh,
these are
because you can eat the
people.
fruit.
Exactly. They are people who
You can
are
eat the
just
fruit.
randos, right? They don't exactly have anything, but then they learn hockey, which I could learn too because there's people who like don't know it and they end up learning it. So it's not like you have to be born with powers. It's literally just, I just train my body to that point,
Yeah.
or and then I eat one of the fruits and I have a double fruit power. So yeah, that's my other thing. Now that I'm thinking about these little bullet points that we have to check off.
Man, I'll go Naruto and I'll be a ninja. What up?
Yeah, gang. Okay, that was my other
I'm doing
thought. But
I'm
then,
doing hand signs.
oh yeah, because there is technically chakra, right? I think there's like
hmm
a religion that believes in that, or
I mean, it's a thing, like the flow of energy in your body.
mm-hmm.
Like it is an actual thing that people believe in, but it's just like Naruto is like more of a actual, like
Like
an actual
use for it.
energy
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. So,
Okay.
um, let's see if I have another one in mind. I feel like I should. I'll say something else. I want to say My Hero, but I
That's the
mean,
other one I wanted to say. But
by the
yeah.
rules that I established, you can't. I mean, I'm just gonna be me hanging out with a bunch of superheroes, unless no, but I'll be too old. I'm already an old man.
No,
It
because I
wouldn't
was gonna
work.
say you could do the vigilantes route. I don't know if you knew
True,
about that.
true. Yes, yes. I love that spinoff.
Yeah, so I think you could just go
Yeah,
that route where like literally the main
true.
character in that lost his powers and then became a just a regular guy just beating up people with superpowers.
Yeah, true, true. I could do the vigilante thing. Mm. Oh no, I know exactly what world I would go
Oh,
to.
okay.
Exactly what I would go to One Punch Man world and legit just do the training he did and become another One Punch Man. That's it. I'll I'll do whatever what he did like 100 sit-ups,
100
100
sit-ups, 100
push-ups.
push-ups, 100 crunches every day.
Yeah, I'll just do that and then just become another One Punch Man.
I mean,
Because
it's
that's how you
possible he
gotta.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a regular human guy and it became One Punch Man. There you go. That's my answer. One Punch Man.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. That was a really clever answer. I would not think of that one. With your stipulations, you came in clutch on that one for sure. But that being said, right, we're gonna go into something a little bit different as well. So I actually have right a kind of a follow up thing, right? So in anime, there's a lot of things that they're gonna get to you. Right? They're gonna pull on your heartstrings. They're gonna make you think, "Holy cow, this is amazing! This is phenomenal! Like, what can happen next in the story?" Right? Because there's some incredible, impactful animes out there. So I just want to know, Rafa, and also for anybody listening, right? If you have any thing that comes to mind when you hear this topic, please leave it down in the comments down below. But that being said, Rafa, what was one or some of the most impactful or heartbreaking, all right, moments in anime for you? So regardless of genre in anime, right, just an anime that you absolutely love that impacted you so hard or broke your heart when you watched it and things like that. Now I will say before we continue on this, we might get into some spoilers, so for sure be warned. I will put it down in the description down below where to continue after this topic. So feel free to skip it if you need to. But if you really are interested in what we're going to say, carry on, Rafa. Go right ahead.
So yeah, I'm gonna for sure spoil it. All the shows that I'm gonna talk about, for sure. I'm gonna start off with Anohana which is a show that I talked about before on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the kids who lost a friend, and then and the friend came back as a ghost, pretty much, or like a spirit,
Okay.
and then they kind of had to like they had to get together. Like they stopped being friends for like it was kind of like a time leap thing, and they're like in high school and they stopped being friends, and so they had kind of had to get together again and kind of figure out like why is this girl here again, like as a ghost. The part that like literally it broke my freaking heart. I was crying. I was crying. This is the ending of the show. Is
Ooh,
that
okay.
like they oh man, do I really want to spoil this for you? Because I want you to see. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it.
Oh.
I'm not gonna spoil it because I want you to watch it, Hector.
Okay, okay.
'Cause I want it because I know for a fact this it's gonna move you. It's gonna you're gonna feel what I felt.
Oh.
Let's just say that it ends on a very, very emotional and strong point.
Oh, wow, okay.
They do something so you don't think like if we would have like, they do a certain activity, I guess you can say. It's like it's something that like if we would do like Hector or with some other friends or whatever, we wouldn't really think about it much. We're just like, okay, whatever. We're just like hanging out, chilling, whatever, having a good time. Um, but with the way they do it, with the situation they're in, is just like, oh my God, it's so heartbreaking. It's like bittersweet type of thing. Like it's like, oh, it got to me. Um, Again, I don't want to say because I want you to see it.
Oh, okay.
um, I'm trying to think. Well, another one would be for sure another show that I know I brought up before. In Clannad After Story. The
Oh, okay.
the ending of that was really another one of those really like heart-wrenching moments. Like that specific like towards the end. There's a specific scene towards the end that really gets to you. Um, I also don't want to spoil that for you because I want you to watch that too, Hector. So I don't want to say what happens. Um, but things you would have to go through Clannad, and I don't know if you'll be like that into Clannad. The
Well, I
first
mean, if you don't think I'm
section.
gonna really be into it, then I would say go for it. And then we'll see.
Mm, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'll guess I'll spoil Clannad after story. So well in Clannad the first one, you see the guy and the main girl like he kind of has like a little harem type thing.
Okay.
But you can tell immediately they're like, okay, we have the girl picked out that he's gonna get with, type of thing. So it's the main girl, because the game, the anime is based on a game,
Oh,
one of those
okay.
like harem games. That you, like you choose the girl you want to go after and whatever. Um, so in the anime itself, um, the main girl is the love interest. Like they pretty much established that like that's gonna happen. But all the other girls they kind of have their own episode type thing, and kind of like their own little mini arcs. But you can tell off the bat like okay, it's gonna be is this guy and this girl. That's who they're gonna be with. That's the love story we're gonna tell here. So then Clannad ends, they're together. Clannad after story continues, and it's them after high school, and they're living together. They get married. They're living
Oh, that's
together.
cool.
Yeah, like the parents like they're the parents are there, and then they pretty much tell the parents like, "Yo, we doing that thing. We they're like they're having sexual intercourse, right?"
Uh-huh.
So and then eventually she's pregnant pretty much. There's a scene she's like, "Oh, I'm pregnant." And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, she's pregnant!" Whatever, it's like a big, big hysterical thing, and like the dad wants to beat up the guy because he got his girl pregnant or whatever. And but the thing is that with the main girl from Clannad, she's always been sick. She had like a weak immune system or something like that. She always gets sick for whatever reason. She has like fever and stuff like that. And she got sick around the time it was time for her to give birth to their daughter. They have a girl. Um, so um, the story's so sad. So she gives birth to her, and she dies giving birth. So then the dad, the main guy, has to take care of the girl, his daughter. But the main guy is so distraught about what happened with the main girl that he pretty much became a bum dad, and he was not taking care of the girl. Like the grandparents, the mom and dad of the girl, the main
Mm-hmm.
girl, were taking care of the daughter, and this guy was just kind of like working his job, living like being miserable, like hating himself, and just like being like not being there for his daughter pretty much. Like he legit abandoned his daughter in a sense. Like
Oh.
he was not there for her, like at all. Like he doesn't even live with her. Like he was like in an apartment or some shit. Um, and then the daughter lives with the grandparents at their house. And then I don't remember the exact reason, but like he kind of I don't remember if he tries to or he's somewhat forced to reconnect with his daughter. And this is like years later. Like she's like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Like she can talk and she can walk around. I don't know what exact age she is, but like she's like she's she's going to school, so she's at least like in second grade, I think. I
Hmm.
don't I could be off about the time, like exactly the time, but she's old enough to that she can walk around, she can eat, and she can talk. She's not a baby anymore,
Okay.
right? And he has to pretty much reconnect with his daughter and kind of learn to forgive himself and be able to kind of move on and really be there for his daughter because he was not there for her at all as she was like a baby or whatever. And the thing is that his daughter kind of caught what the mom had,
Oh,
or
damn.
like
Okay.
where she gets like sick a lot and stuff like that. And then this is the point that I was like, oh my God. Um, he finally started connecting with his daughter, and he started like, actually being there for her, and that's to the point where she started getting really sick, and then I and she dies. Um, I, and that part I was like, bro, this is so sad. He lost his wife, he lost his daughter, and then I can't really remember what happens next. But something like it's like those are thing kind of going out to the story, talking about like I don't want to say it's like a wishing star, but something like around those lines. Like if you see something like you make a wish and it might come true type of thing, you
Okay.
know. And as his daughter is dying in his hands, he sees that wishing star. I could be wrong about what the actual thing is that he wishes on, but I'm just saying wishing star because it's like the most easiest way to for people to understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he kind of wishes for like kind of like a chance all over again type of thing, like to all this not happen or whatever. And then like it kind of flashes back to a point where um the main girl's still alive,
Oh, that's
and
dope.
I
Okay.
and then it that last if I remember this correctly, it's been years since I've seen this. The last thing you see is him entering the room, and the main girl is holding their daughter. So she just gave birth, but she didn't die. She made it through the birth,
Ooh, that's cool. Okay.
and that's how it ends. If I remember that correctly, that's how it ends. So it's like he got a chance again to kind of redo this, or they did as a family or whatever. So
Wow. That actually sounds really
yeah,
dope. Okay.
yeah, it's one of like yeah man, like I was crying watching that. Like that shit was really like bro moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna spoil anything else.
I would say, oof. For me, there have been quite a few. Honestly, a ton of them that have either made me cry or like really got me like extremely like just this huge adrenaline rush, right? For me, for sure, one of the ones that impacted me the most, and this is a huge spoiler for people who care for this anime, but in One Piece, Luffy loses his brother Ace in the Marineford War, or rather Marineford arc, and basically how it works is like for a huge amount of the episodes, Luffy's trying to get to the position where he's at because it's going to be a public execution of Ace, and so he's trying to get there, and then person after person realizes that he is a powerful person, Luffy, and they need to somehow try to stop him because if him and Ace get together, then they're going to become a powerful duo, and the entire thing is just Ace crying because he kept saying that he wants to live and he wants to make sure Luffy doesn't die and things like that. And then out of nowhere in the final scenes, Akainu, which is one of the Marineford, I forget their name at the time. It's not Shishibukai, because that's actually the warlords. He was like one of the generals, right? Like one of the elites of the Marines, and so he comes down, tries to strike Luffy, and in that heat of the moment, Ace gives up his life to protect his brother. And the moment that you see Luffy just realize that Ace is dying, and the little interaction that they have at the end, it's absolutely sad. Completely, every time I see it, doesn't matter, past or present. It made me tear up, if not cry, when I first saw it. I was super, super heartbroken when I saw that because you actually come to love Ace as a character and you learn more about him and all that going on. Like you just see this scene and it just unfolds in such a beautiful way, and you see how Luffy has so much to do and so much to work towards, and then to see how it pays off later on as he continues to hone his skills and just the fact that you still see bits and pieces and moments of Ace come out through the story and how Sabo reacted, which is his other brother in the Revolutionary Army. Like, it's just one of those crazy scenes where it pulls on so many emotions because you're so angry at Akainu, but at the same time you're so sad for Ace. And then just, I guess, segueing from there, right, I also, man, My Hero Academia has some insane moments that just get you so hard. Actually, before I continue with what I want to say, Rafa, are you fully caught up with My Hero, or?
On the anime, yeah.
Okay, so you saw the fight with Eri-chan and Deku and all that, right? With Overhaul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that Overhaul fight, absolutely phenomenal. The music that they played during that, especially how they used that in the movie as well. Truly one of the most beautiful action scenes I've ever seen. My Hero Academia literally never misses. They just hit straight home runs every time when they make these insane crazy scenes. It's just so cool to see how much effort they put into it, and the fact that like Deku decides to just put his all. He sees that Medio or Lemillion puts all his, he risks his quirk for this girl, and how the entire story arc comes to a incredible like finish, right from the beginning where they first meet Overhaul and they're doing the work studies, and then now they're at the end where he's saving Aries' life and essentially continuing the will of Mirio, who was one of the closest people to the number one hero in the world, and still being in his third year of high school. So I think it's...
Oh, he was considered the number one.
Yeah, instead of... Oh, well, behind All Might, obviously, before, he lost his
Yeah,
powers as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was considered the next All Might.
Mm-hmm. So the fact that he's continuing that will, and the following scenes that ensued where he was considering giving them all for one, or rather, one for all. That's the one that he has. Yeah, so it's... Man, like literally, I'm telling you, when they get into those crazy emotional scenes in My Hero, like it just always slaps, man. It's just so good. It's like the Coda, and when they're in the training arc, when he has to fight Muscular, that was insane. How he just said, "I'm sorry, Mother. I'm sorry, All Might. This is my end," and he's about to get crushed, and then he hits that 1,000,000% because Coda tries to save him, and he realizes what's going on. If you ever decide to watch the movies, both movies were absolutely phenomenal. They have incredible scenes where just Deku goes, all right, dude, like, F it, we're just
Wait,
gonna.
there's two of them?
Yeah, there's two. So the first one involves All Might and Deku, and they go to like a heroes convention, this like utopia for
Yeah, I saw
heroes.
that one.
And then the second one is called Two Heroes Rising, and that one is where it ties really heavily to the story, and you meet the main villain, which his name is Nine, and he has the ability to have nine quirks at once. So it's kind of like a pseudo all for one, and it's really really cool because you notice that the technology that he uses there actually is going to come up again for those of you manga readers in the uh, later anime seasons that are going to come after where we're at.
Oh,
So
hey, I
definitely
gotta watch
definitely
that.
watch it. Dude, it's so so good, man. I'm not going to
I,
spoil that one because I absolutely loved it. I actually want to go see it in theaters before this whole thing went down.
I didn't
um,
even know there was a second movie coming
mhm.
out.
It was freaking sick. I'm actually pretty sure it's out for purchase on Amazon or like renting and whatever you want to do with it. But dude, it's so sick. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna absolutely love it. I freaking love it. Definitely for sure on my top anime movies that I've ever watched before. And finally, the last one. Speaking of movies, fantastic connection to it. But A Silent Voice. That was probably my first romantic slash sad uh, movies that I've ever watched in anime, and man, the scene where she's about to jump off her ledge and the boy saves her, like, dude, that hits so hard. I was like tearing up when I realized what was going on and just how crazy things had gotten, and yeah, like I just that was for sure one of my all time favorites, and
Dude,
I will
oh my God.
always tell people to watch it.
The
Um,
whole time, though, I'm sorry, but the whole time I wanted to beat the crap out of that guy.
yeah,
That was
but
such
like it
an
wasn't about him; it was about her.
yeah.
Um,
That's exactly like through all man.
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm a small spoiler, but I'm just a little small rant. It's just like this guy put this girl through so much bull stuff, so much pain, so much suffering because he's an idiot little dumb kid who didn't understand of the couldn't read the room, right? You know, who's being a a jerk to the highest degree to this girl who can't speak. She's a mute, right? She's mute or
Hmm.
she's deaf.
She's deaf, but she can't speak as well. Like,
Well, it tends to happen to people who are deaf can't
yeah.
speak. Yeah, right. So she would talk like that. Like that's how she sounds when she talks.
Hmm.
I'm not making fun of her, Hector. Before you start saying, "Oh, you're making fun of her," like no,
I
that's how she
wasn't gonna say
sounds.
that. I was just
All
surprised you
right, all right.
actually imitated it. I was like, that caught me off guard, but okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't trying to make fun of her. Like that's how she sounds. And you know, as kids, because kids don't know any better, they were making fun of her, especially the main guy. And then the class was like, "Yeah, let's all make fun of her." And then everybody turned on the main guy, which I found hilarious. That's what he gets, and everybody hated him. And then like later on when they're older, and he's like trying to like reconnect with her, and I'm assuming because he feels bad because of what he did. I'm assuming that's what it is, right? I don't remember it that well. But he seemed like he felt bad what he was doing, right?
Hmm.
Or what he did in the past. So he was trying to like make amends with her, pretty much. Um, and then, no, yeah, that's what it was because before that he was planning to kill himself.
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
He was planning to kill himself because of everything what happened. But then he ran into her randomly, and he's like,
Hmm.
okay, here's my chance to make things good again. Um, so then so then he's trying to do that or whatever, and then like, oh my God, it broke my heart. I was like, girl, please don't say this. When she was like, oh, when she was mad at herself because of everything that happened, and
Hmm.
she blamed herself,
Yeah.
and then it's because everything happened because she's deaf and she can't talk. I'm like, no, it's not your fault. No, don't say that. Like I was just so heartbroken.
Hmm.
I was like, no, mommy, no, don't say that. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's this idiot standing next to you who it's all his fault. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're the victim here. Don't say that it's your fault. And that's the reason she wanted to kill herself, or she was gonna jump off the ledge or whatever because that was it. She was saying that it was her fault. I was just like, no, it's not your fault.
Dude.
And then the other
Ugh.
and then the other girl, she can go to hell. The
Oh,
other girl.
facts. I just remember who you're talking about. Yeah, no.
Yeah. The
That's.
the other girl that like teamed up with the main guy to talk all that smack against the main girl.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Hector, you're gonna have to cut this out. She a bitch.
We're gonna keep that one in. I don't care.
Okay, keep that in.
She deserves that one. But
Yeah,
no, man. Like
no.
honestly, that movie alone, like, will invoke so many different emotions out of you. You're gonna feel anger. You're gonna feel
Yeah.
happiness. You're gonna
And
feel extreme
yes,
sadness. Like
sadness. Yes,
it does so
yes.
much. It pulls at so many emotional heartstrings. It's crazy. By far, and I will always say this. It is one of my favorite movies I've ever watched in anime.
It's a really good movie.
It's
Yeah.
so solid, so good, and funny enough, I stumbled upon it. Like that's how I ended up watching it. So,
Oh, really?
fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Like I think I was looking up on like probably like on Google, right? Like anime movies or something like that, and then. I noticed that one was on Netflix, and I was like, "Oh, dope! Like, let me watch it." And I did, and it was fantastic. So,
Yeah.
um,
I heard I just heard like, on the internet. Oh, this is a really good movie. People
mhm.
gotta watch this movie. That's how I ended up hearing about it. Just people on the internet talking about how great it was.
Yeah, I mean, they were not wrong. They were absolutely correct on
Yeah.
this one. Normally, I'm kind of skeptical and things like that, but for sure, dude, like they hit the mark on this one, like hands down. Um,
Hmm.
but I think that's enough of a little spoiler talk. So, of course, let our viewers come back to this one, right? So now that you guys viewers are back right into it, we're excited to have you guys back. We're gonna actually talk about you guys. So in the previous pod episode, my man, we had a fantabulous, right? Viewer that likes to watch our pod episodes. And of course, shout out to you, Mr. Josue Guevara. Josue mentioned, or rather commented on our post, said, just wanted to follow up, and I did finish the podcast, meaning the one with the,
Really bad
unfortunately,
audio.
bad audio, yeah.
Really bad
He
audio.
said, I'm a trooper and powered through. Shout outs to you, my guy. You are top tier in this viewership for sure. He said, currently listening to this one and we'll be back with feedback. Stay tuned. Now, unfortunately, we're still being, staying tuned. So,
Hey, well, Josue is a busy man.
I'm sure he is.
I'm pretty sure he's out there running game on either woman or men, whoever he likes. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying? He's doing
god.
his thing.
Oh
He's
my
out there
god.
collecting checks, cashing checks. I'm pretty sure he's buying BMWs left and right. He's a
Ooh.
busy man. Okay, Hector, he's a busy man. Now, if he puts up, he'll put up his comment when he puts it up. But I just want to say thank you for being a trooper. Thank you for playing through for that one episode that kind of stunk up the place. Thank you for that. We always love to hear from you guys. Just like our main man, our main guy, Josue over here. Always love to see those comments come up. And yeah, man, I would love to see what he got to say. But
Of
either
course.
way, man, it's always great to see Josue check in, man. It was always great to see him check in.
Oh, always good. So I really hope to hear from him again and see what, feedback he has for us, either on this pod or the previous one, of course. And
For sure.
that being said, guys, please, if you guys enjoy what you guys are listening and have anything you guys want to say to us, drop it in the comments down below. As you can see, we read them, we respond to them,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about them,
Mm-hmm.
and so do y'all thing, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, Rafa, have you ever read manga before, by any chance?
I've read some here and there.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a follow-up question. So, would you say in anime that it is more important to stay true to the original, script, concept, source material, or would you say it's better to tweak it as it comes out in anime or movie adaptations?
It really depends
Ooh,
for me.
okay.
Um, for example, if let's say for whatever reason, it just really depends on the situation. If for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, the the people who are working on the anime only have 24 episodes to work on it, right?
Okay.
And they're like, okay, you guys are not getting another season. Like this is it. You're only going in for 24 episodes, and the manga has, I don't know, uh, they have so much content that it's not gonna fit into 24 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
then I would be like, okay, fine, like either do your own thing or take pieces from here and there and try to tell your own story. That's fine. That's not a big deal for me, right? Just as long as they make a good story at the end,
Of course.
right? So like for example, I know I also brought this anime up before. Soul Eater.
Hmm.
Soul Eater, I think it only ran for
I think I want to say 2 seasons.
it was like 2 seasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
only ran for 2 seasons. And it ended. And once it ended, it was over with, right? At a certain point, at the beginning of the anime, it was following the manga
Hmm.
pretty closely, and at a certain point, there was a certain thing that happened specifically in the manga that it didn't happen in the anime, and I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like a character died or something like that, right? Um, and in the anime that didn't happen, so then the anime kind of took its own path pretty much. It stopped following the manga, started doing its own thing, and which at the time when I was watching it, I was upset. I was like,
Okay.
man, they should be following the manga because the manga was way better. The
Ooh,
manga was
okay.
way better. It's to this day, I still think it's way better, for many of reasons. Um, but the anime started, like I said, the anime started doing their own thing, and I was like, you know what? But like I said, back then I was angry, but now, like now, let's say what's happening now. If if the story's good, even though it's doing its own thing, I'll be fine with it. I wouldn't care.
Hmm.
Like at least you're telling a good story, and like, well, like I said, you're not coming back for another season. Might as well do the best you can do. But the problem with Soul Eater is that they kind of screwed it up. They kind of screwed up the ending pretty
Oof.
much.
Yikes. Okay.
So like that's kind of like, I'm like, dang, that right there would suck. If anything would need a reboot, I would like Soul Eater to have a reboot. I think they could
Same,
have,
actually, for sure.
that'd be so awesome, so good. Because not just the ending, they screwed up some other things too. Like some of the powers that they gain later on, and like it's almost like they put a cap on how far the characters could go, like power wise. I don't know if that makes sense because like in the manga they kept getting better and learning new techniques and things like that. For in the show, at a certain point they kind of stopped learning things. They were just kind of fighting people or whatever,
Hmm.
if I remember that correctly. But yeah, and the ending was just kind of a bunch of BS, pretty much. They just kind of pulled it out of their butt of how they were gonna end it. And then yeah, I was just like, come on, man, how you guys gonna do it like that? That's such a dumb thing to do. Um, and something that's an example that's kind of like the opposite of that is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
Because as you know, this is somewhat like this kind of relates to what we're talking about with Soul Eater. The Fullmetal Alchemist, the original run came out, and it didn't follow the manga. It kind of did its own thing also. And then years later, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood came out, which in a sense it was
A
like a
rehash.
redo,
Yeah.
a rehash, and this time around they actually stick to the manga,
Hmm.
how the manga was done, and Brotherhood is way better.
For sure.
For leaps and bounds is way better. Like crazy. The only thing that I didn't have a problem with it, but the only thing I was like I would like to see more of it was the part in the story where they're meeting the doctor. Um
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, the one doctor was trying to reclaim his glory.
Hmm.
In the original run of Full Metal Alchemist, it kind of takes its time with that
Oh,
specific
okay.
scenario. In Brotherhood, it's a bit rushed. So the big piece, the big part that everybody knows, the one thing that everybody
Uh
memes
oh.
about in Full Metal, it doesn't hit you as hard. It's not as impactful.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because in the
The
first run
original.
of the
Yeah.
in the original run of the anime, you spend more time with the characters. You get to know the characters more. You get attached to the characters pretty much.
Hmm.
And Brotherhood, it's a bit rushed. I think like in an episode or two, it gets kind of like done and over with or whatever. Like
Wow. Okay.
it's yeah, it's really fast. So yeah, that's my only like fault against Brotherhood,
Hmm.
but it's not enough to knock it down. Like Brotherhood is completely the better version of Full Metal in an anime form. If anybody who wants to watch Full Metal Alchemist and heard about it, has given it a chance, that's the one to watch. Is Brotherhood for sure, and that one sticks right in it sticks right to the manga.
Mm.
Um, and there's another one that I have in mind, and I just feel that this anime, no, this manga is just a very hard manga to convert. It it is. It's not really just one manga. It's a lot of manga works, whatever. Um, Junji Ito's. That's the name of the guy who makes the manga.
Hmm.
He is a horror manga guy. Like, he makes horror manga. And he doesn't have one big story. He has a lot of little stories, those short stories of horror, and a few. Maybe I don't remember how long ago. It's maybe like a year or two ago. They decided to take his stories and make it into an anime, which each episode told about like two or three stories, right?
Hmm.
I forgot the name of it, but just saying Junji Ito's, people know what I'm talking about pretty much. People who know what I'm talking about. Um, it's very, very hard to put this guy's work into an animated format. I know you said you don't like horror, so I'm pretty sure you've never read of any of his, you haven't seen any of his work. And I know I brought it up before on the
So,
podcast.
real quick, in the last podcast, one of my friends who listened to it, right, he actually sent me the. I hated him for this. He sent me the exact chapter page of the one with the pimple guy where he gets above her and just.
Uh-huh.
He sent me that, and I absolutely dropped my phone and cringed. Uh,
Nice.
because I knew exactly what it was when he sent it to me, and
Uh,
I opened it, and I was absolutely enraged and just, dude, man, I was so mad. Because I kept saying I didn't want to see it, and then he sent it to me through Snapchat, so I didn't know what it was, and when I saw it, I was like absolutely disgusted. Um,
that's nice.
so one, thanks for that, and because that stemmed from you, but
Yeah,
but
you're
two,
welcome.
shout out my friend for giving me nightmares that day for sure.
So, so the problem with like a Junji Ito work. Now, I'm not saying it cannot be done.
Hmm.
I'm not saying like no way ever there's gonna be an anime of Junji Ito's work that's not gonna work. That's not what I'm saying. Is that what I'm saying is that um, the way he structures his stories, he puts you in somewhat in the driver's seat, I guess you can say, right? So like you're reading what's happening on the page, and then you turn the page, you keep reading what's going on, and he kind of has this format where it slowly starts building up of what's gonna happen, like pretty much the horror, the really big like the big piece, like for you. What you saw was the guy doing the pimple thing, right? Like that
Uh
was the
huh.
big piece of that story. That was like that climax of horror, pretty much, right?
Hmm.
So like when so he has you turn the page to that specific scene in a sense, right? So like
Yeah.
you are yourself taking yourself to that scene, right? So it's like you kind of have that feeling, that build up, like, oh man, it's getting more bad for these people, it's getting more horrible for these people, and then next you know, bam, it hits you with that big piece, with that big the guy doing his pimple thing
Ugh,
on the
so
girl,
gross.
or trying to think of a different one when the I'm not even gonna I don't want to spoil them. They're so good. Um, but like that's how it is, right? So it kind of like you it's almost like he makes you take those steps forward when you're reading it,
Hmm.
right? Like it's gonna get bad, but you're still walking towards it, right? With anime, you with just with any anime really, you kind of take a step back and you just kind of let it play out in front of you, and I feel like this is also why it's kind of hard for anime in general with horror. It's the first of all, it's not going to look as good, and I feel like that's the biggest fault with this show. Um, because in Junji Ito's work, it's so detailed, it's so gruesome, it's so nasty looking, so grimy. Just the those horror images that he comes up with. It's something that sticks with you. You don't forget those images.
Oof. Okay.
Like ever. Like those things get stuck in your head. Hector, you're not gonna forget that picture you saw.
I'm not.
I'm
It just
telling you
makes
right
me
now.
cringe every time.
It's gonna stick to you. I haven't read a Junji Ito work in a while, and I still remember with great detail some of like those like climax horror scenes, right? And the thing is, translating that much detail into an animated screen, it's very hard to do. And for it to hit the same way the manga hits, it's very hard to do. That's why that's why the anime failed. It didn't hit as hard as the manga
Hmm.
for the reasons that I've been saying. So and, and they did all, I don't say they took liberties, like there are certain things that did cut out in some of the stories,
Okay.
which I felt like they should have kept in, but then the episode would have been even longer. Um, but I don't know, man. I don't even know why I brought up Junji Ito, but that show failed completely, and I don't know. Just I don't even know why did I bring that up? Whatever, dude. It depends on the work. That was my point. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I totally get that. I think the little editing to it or like tweaking it a bit as you put it into, or rather transition it into anime form, I think it's super difficult. But of course, like with certain pieces, like you kind of have to get it right, or else it's just not going to hit or deliver as intended. The biggest thing that kind of comes to mind when I say that is One Piece. They like to do this thing in the anime where they'll add special effects to it or change things as they come out in anime form. So like they'll change like an attack, or they'll either add on to a current fight scene and they'll add a few more scenes in it, or add like certain super abilities that they'll use and things like that. And sometimes they look absolutely amazing, and then other times they miss the mark because of just how different it is compared to the manga, right? And everybody absolutely loves the manga because Oda literally does not miss. When he wants to make an impact in the story, he'll do it, and it always hits. So when they can't deliver that in the anime, like it causes such an uproar, and people aren't exactly a big fan of it. Also, I don't know if you actually knew this, Rafa, but Dead Man Wonderland is also another one when I think of that they kind of messed up
Yes.
completely.
They screwed that one up so
Yeah, so
badly.
I actually loved. I actually okay. Well, I'm not gonna say loved because that's kind of an intense word, but I actually really liked the anime. But when I heard about how the manga was completely different and how they actually had messed it up, because I don't think at that point when I watched this I was reading manga. So when I heard that and I decided to read it, years later, I was like, oh my god, this one season of 13 episodes is actually horrendous compared to what they do in the manga. Like Dead Man Wonderland is such a crazy good story that they just kind of butchered it when it came out in anime form. Like, of course, there's some cool scenes, right? But like, nah, man. Like, this one is one of them
No,
that for sure.
yeah,
Like,
that's
it's such a better story in the manga than
such
they
a
did there.
uh, such a good one. I can't believe I didn't think about Dead Man Wonderland. Yeah, it's real. It's a really good point. Yeah, it's a really good whatever that's what we're talking about.
Example,
The
yeah.
manga. Yeah, example. Thank you.
um,
Example. Jeez. Yeah, example.
the next one I also had written down, right, is Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know if you ever read the manga or seen the show itself, but um,
I watched the first season. I watched. Spoiler. I watched to the point where he got tortured and then his hair turned white, and then he became a whole different other person. And then I was
mhm.
like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the show, and I dropped
Well,
it.
let me tell you, the show is phenomenal. Well, I mean, people have their doubts about it, but I loved it. Absolutely loved it. However, I very recently started reading the manga from zero and continuing from there, and dude, it is just so much better. It is a completely different vibe, a whole new feel to the whole story, and you just get so much more in the manga than you do in the show. and it really sucks when things like that happen. Like you could be such a huge fan of the show or such a huge fan of the manga, and then either one of them is either really good or just really bad. And just these adaptations that they keep making are just so, I don't know, man. Like there's obviously, they're trying to do their best and trying to fit in as much as they can, and I think it's like 24 minutes that they usually put up, right? Because normally in Japan they'll come out with commercials and things like that, so they'll hit the 30-minute mark. But when we come to, like, for example, Crunchyroll, right? If you have the premium, it'll be the 24, 25 minutes, and that's it. No commercials or anything like that. But yeah, so they try to fit all that in into one episode, and sometimes they have to skip over certain things, and that's kind of the part that I don't really like as much. And then one that kind of just fully exemplifies like how they just took their own liberties of doing whatever they wanted and just kind of went off the reservation was Bleach. I don't know if you remember how they just added filler after filler arc that had nothing to do with the manga, and then
Yeah.
I think that one was just one of those where it was surprising because of how popular it is, but at the same time, for like true diehard fans, you knew like this never happened in the manga. Like, why are you guys doing this? Or this is completely different than what actually happened in the manga. And I just think that Bleach is such a great show. But then when I found out that they, which like I want to say like 60% of it is filler that has nothing to do with the actual story, like it's insane. 60% might be a little bit of a steep number, but still, like it's just like.
That's the reason why I dropped Bleach because
Mm-hmm.
of I forgot what section it was, but the second I found out it was filler, I was like, I am done. I'm done with these filler episodes. I'm just not gonna watch this anymore. And I was pretty like into Bleach. It was after what was the section? You know how like the hollows or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the people who like had bone on them or whatever. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking
yeah.
about? I remember them. He was fighting them, and then what happens after that? Do you remember?
So, dude, if I'm right, he gets trained by them, and then it's not where he goes into the moon world because that's afterwards, or not the moon world, like where he fights Ukiora and the people like that. But he fights people who
Was it the
have,
vampire people?
yeah, I think like people who have also the ability to use holification and things like that. Um, or they're like normal people, but they're like they have hollow parts and stuff. That's literally what happens afterwards because those guys come pop out in that one. It's in that arc where it's like the iconic scene where the Grandmaster, whatever they call him, right? The head captain of the guard, right, in the Soul Society, he fights that giant monster that has like three eyes, and the girls combine their powers and he fights it. It's like a giant like King Kong, but like with antlers and stuff. Um, it's in that arc where all this is happening, and I don't remember exactly what happens afterwards because I'm gonna be honest, man. So much of it is filler that I don't know what's
Yeah,
supposed to happen next.
I don't
Or
remember it clearly.
I do remember
I
there was
rem
like a filler arc where like they literally just went back in time and showed it in a different perspective. Like they're like, hey, so during the main story, while this was happening, this happened, and I remember that's where I kind of also fell off a bit. One of the greatest
that
things that ever happened is like those Google what's filler and what's not type pages. Those are fantastic. But I'm sorry, you were gonna
mhm.
say?
No, it was just a little quick thing that depending how they do it, sometimes that's kind of cool
Mm-hmm.
when they kind of go back and like, oh, here's like a different perspective on what happened. But it sounds like they I don't remember that. I could have been gone by that point, but it sounds like they for you they screwed that up and just you just got tired of it.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that. I actually don't really like ones that do that. I don't really like. I guess well, some shows do it really well where they're like the first half they'll show you what happens, and the second half they'll show you a different perspective of what happened. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Dude, for every time I
like
think of that, I think of the cat anime that I told you about, like where the
yeah.
guy adopts the cat and then you see the cat's restrict afterwards. Like that, literally one of my favorite animes.
What that reminds me of, and it's not an anime. Well, actually, no, it's actually the best anime ever made. Correction, it is The Simpsons. Uh, it's an episode where I can't remember exactly what happens, but like each member of The Simpsons has their own like story, like their own adventure.
Okay.
in a sense, like throughout the day, and the things that one person does connects to the other person, and like, because this person did this one thing, it affects this other person across town. Like it's all connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you watch Homer's day, and he's doing whatever the heck he's doing, and then like his day comes to an end, and then it cuts to Bart in the morning, and then you see how what he goes through and how that's connected to Homer. Like it was a really cool episode. That's like a way like a different perspective type of thing where it looks cool. It's not anime, but it's like that episode was really cool in The Simpsons. I like when they do stuff like that. Um, there's one show that they kind of did something like that where they really screwed it up was the disappearance of no, not the disappearance, the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Have you ever heard of that show?
No, I haven't.
Wow, you've never heard of the melancholy? Oh my God. Well, that's spoiler. I'm gonna recommend you that show then. That's a really good show. Um, but the second season, they kind of do this time loop thing where the main guy replace the same day over and over again, kind of like a Groundhog Day type of thing.
Okay.
And like certain things were different, and so it's pretty much like you're pretty much seeing him do the same thing, but sometimes it's different perspective, or some of the dialogue is different. The thing that screwed up that season, really quickly like super side note, is that it took for I like okay, it's like it was very ambitious what they were trying to do, but at the same time it's like okay, like bro, you guys wasted so much time. Is that the guy was stuck in this time loop for 8 episodes.
Okay.
So in a sense, you I ended up skipping it. I did not watch all 8 episodes. I think it's like 12 episodes in the season, or something like that. But like for 8 episodes straight, it's literally the same episode over and over again,
Okay.
just with like some some parts here and there's a different dialogue here, or like the guy's wearing a different shirt, or like really small different details are different, but the main points of the episode still hit the same, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
guys, and the reason why this is such a dumb reason is that they decided to do 8 episodes because if you take the 8 sign and you turn it sideways, it's the infinity sign. It's a
Ooh.
continuous loop.
Okay.
That's why it was 8 episodes. That you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need 8 episodes to get your point across. So they wasted a season doing that. So, uh, yeah, I'll talk about Haruhi more towards the end of the show. But
Okay.
that's a thing when they did like the whole perspective thing that they really fucked it up, or they really screwed it up.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, since we know what that's going to be, later on, I guess with that being said, I think we've kind of touched on a lot of source material that was tweaked or kind of stayed true to, the importance of it all. But I want to hear from people who watch. Maybe you might tweet at us, maybe you might comment down below. But if you have any of the examples that we gave out, that opinions or anything you want to add to what we said, or have your own, of course, drop it down below. But from there, moving on, right? We're going to go into something that I've been very, very excited to talk about. So we're going to do this in a little two-parter, right, guys? So first and foremost, we're going to start with myself, right? We're just going to go into my reactions for the 3-episode rule of the new summer 2020 anime. So as you guys remember, we made a pod specifically dedicated to the thoughts and our most anticipated shows for the 2020 anime season, and we have now gone into 3 weeks where we're gonna see how we react after 3 episodes, because as of this Sunday the 26th, it has been the 3rd week in anime and the new anime season. So now we get to kind of talk about it and see which ones we kept up with, which one we kind of dropped, and so which ones also surprised us a lot. And like I said, I'm going to be starting off this pod. In the next episode, we're going to get Rafa's reactions and possibly somebody else's. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want
Oh
to spoil
man,
too much, but
maybe he's a
yeah.
very, very hard person to get locked on. He's a very busy man.
So we'll see how
Yes.
that one goes. But as I was saying, my top picks for this season and those that I said I was going to give a chance to have actually surprised me a lot, Rafa.
Okay.
They kind of came at me with a curveball. Some of them I definitely did not continue watching. Some of them I thought were okay, but I'm going to continue to watch anyways just to see how they turn out. But without further ado, I might as well get right into it. Absolutely the number one show of this season, in my opinion, is The God of High School. I think that one is
Oh.
just absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to start with the heavy hitter. I think it started off fantastic in episode 1. Episode 2, even better. Episode 3, oh my god. Like, it literally just keeps ramping up faster and faster, and it just keeps getting even better. Like, the main character, Jin Mori, is phenomenal. I love the little trio that they kind of created in their group, and it's just so fantastic. I love the fight scenes. They just add so much more flair, so much more intensity, and then to find that this guy has some kind of special connection because of his grandfather, to like the greater picture of the story, to finally see what the background shadow villains are gonna be and things like that. Like it's just so much more than just a competition. It's so cool. This anime is by far, like I said, the number one. You guys, it's a must watch. You have to check this one out. It is on Crunchyroll. It is only exclusively on Crunchyroll. So I think they have a feature where you can watch it with commercials if you don't have premium. But if you do, just watch all 3 episodes. They're fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. And then from there, just the continuation of some of the animes that are, coming back from previous, seasons and things like that. So One Piece, Black Clover, of course, fantastic. They're getting into some great things. Black Clover a little bit on a filler right now, but can't really blame them. The manga right now is kind of steamrolling, so you need to give them some time so you can adapt it. Some of the filler is great. Some of the episodes are okay, but overall, love seeing Asta back on my screen and Noelle and all them. So the ones that have me, really into it are The Misfit of Demon King Academy. It's 100% a harem. I've noticed that my taste is very harem-like for some things.
Mm.
It is what
Is
it
you a
is.
naughty boy?
It is what it is. I like it a lot. The Misfit is very, very cool. It has like a weird premise, but it's one of those where I know it's not a top tier quality anime, but I just enjoy it for the main character, which is Anos Voldigold. I actually saw a funny thing where like people on like TikTok were like commenting like their favorite quintuplet in like complete different anime. And they're like, my favorite quintuplet is actually Anos Voldigold, and I was like laughing because I was like, why is that even there? It was such a random little thing that I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'm not the only one that likes this show. But the one for sure, 100% that caught me off guard, right, is hands down Rent a Girlfriend. I said this was going to be the one that I was just going to just throw out there, see if I like it or not, and I absolutely freaking love it. Rent a Girlfriend, fantastic. Episode 3, wow. Episode 3 was good. I don't know if you've watched it yet, Rafa, but
No, I haven't had a chance
okay,
to.
so I'm not going to spoil it, but it was a banger. Just a whole new slew of emotions that came through from that episode. It was man. 100% Mizuhara is waifu. AF, bro. Like I love that character. She's just so amazing.
That's the main girl, right?
Yeah, the main girl, like the main Rena girlfriend. Mami-chan, absolutely hate her. Uh, which is the ex-girlfriend. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I don't like Mami-chan at all. But
No.
and then of course, kind of scrolling back towards our continuation animes, dude. ReZero, Fire Force, and Food Wars. Guys, if you haven't watched any of those, do it. Especially Fire Force and ReZero. ReZero is just, oh my god. I tweeted about it on our Bento Boxcast Twitter page not that long ago. But episode 1, 2, and 3 have been so titillating. I couldn't get enough. I can't wait for episode 4. It sucks that we have to wait a whole week. But dude, it's so worth it. I'm telling you guys, ReZero, God of High School, and Fire Force are just everything and above that you would want in an anime. There's just so much in it, and of course, Rent a Girlfriend. I'm telling you, there's these four. These four, in general, are my favorite out of this season, and I cannot wait to continue watching them. There's others that are just continuations of things like that, but summer 2020 anime has not disappointed whatsoever. I am so happy to have anime back in my life. It is phenomenal. It adds such a great taste to the palate. You know what I'm saying? Like it just adds a great flavor sazon to life. Which might be a little dramatic, but I'm telling you guys, it's good. Summer 2020 anime, one of my favorite anime seasons of all time. Yeah, I mean, dude, I just can't talk more about it because I'm literally at a loss of for words for what I want to say with every single anime because I'm telling you, those four that I mentioned, just go watch them. Do yourself a favor. If you're not really into anime, if you are trying to find something new to watch, God of High School, fantastic. ReZero, fantastic. Rent a Girlfriend, it's more of a niche kind of thing, but it's great. And, of course, Fire Force. Those are my four. And the last one, which has been kind of starting off here and there a little slow, is Sword Art Online. I will say I was very hyped for this season, but it has not been to my expectation. There are some crazy scenes that I've liked, but I needed to ramp up already. I think it's kind of it started off on a high note and then kind of went a little bit of a curve downward, and it's starting to pick up a bit, but I don't know. This next episode better hit, or else I'm gonna say it's not one of my favorites. But I say that's my reaction for this summer 2020 season. Very quick one, but man, I just can't say anything other than positive things for the majority of the ones that I've watched. The one that I have dropped, I would say, is Monster Girl Doctor. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that one, Rafa.
I watched half of the first episode and I was like, oof, this is going to be a tough one. And then I haven't gone back.
Yeah, I dropped that one. I wasn't a fan of it. It's one of those where it's like I was really expecting a Monster Musume one, but it just wasn't. There's like some ecchi scenes in it, and it's like one or two in every episode. And Monster Musume, you would like every few minutes you'd get something like that. So I don't know. It just wasn't all that great. The story itself is also kind of whack. I didn't really like it at all, so I kind of just dropped it. And I just really didn't like it. I thought that was kind of really disappointing and kind of sad, because of the whole monster girl type thing vibe. But I don't know. It is what it is. And also Peter Grill. I know I had mentioned it in the last pod that we talked about 2020 season anime. That one is just straight up etch. Like that's like etch at the very borderline of the adult version of that. And I just couldn't get into it. I like that. I like the story of it because it's apparently about a guy who is the strongest guy and he's trying to get his girlfriend in secret to become his wife and get the permission from the guild master. But the thing is, the guild master has brainwashed his daughter into saying that, in order to have kids, you have to pray to God, and then the stork is going to come down and deliver him. Like, super, super innocent, and, like, he's trying to get her innocence out of her in more ways than one. And I'm just like, this is kind of a weird anime.
Wow. That is...
I'm telling you, it's like borderline adult etch.
There's a lot of wrong with that.
Yep, so...
There's a lot of wrong with that. That's like, they're hypnotizing a woman, making her believe things that she doesn't want to believe in, and then the guy's trying to take away her innocence. That sounds like rape. Oh my god, I don't know, Hector. I don't know.
Yep. So I saw episode 1, and I'm like, I'm out. I was like, nope.
You didn't even give it the 3 episodes.
Nope.
Dang.
I think at most I saw a little bit of episode 2, and then I saw where the story was headed, and I'm like, I'm straight.
And they didn't follow the rules.
I mean, hey man, there are some animes where you just want to drop instantly. Clearly, you feel the same with Monster Musume, but that one was like, nah, man. I was like, this one ain't it.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna establish this rule right here, right now.
Okay.
And every season, you can drop one show before the 3 anime episode rule.
Ooh. Okay.
Only one.
Twist. Okay.
Okay. This is your one.
Okay.
For this season. I mean, I mean, we already had the third week or whatever, but like from here on out for the other seasons, if there's one show that you know for a fact it's just a pain and you're not gonna enjoy it, you only could drop one.
Okay.
Only one
But
before
the
the
other
three
ones you
episode
have to
rule.
watch. Got
But
it.
the
Okay.
other
Okay.
ones, yeah, the other ones you have to go through 3 episodes at least,
Oof. Okay.
right?
Yeah. So I mean, I did watch episode 1 and 2 of. Oh, actually, no. I actually did watch Monster Musume episode 3, but that one I knew I'm not going to continue for sure. This one I stopped at 1.5, and I'm like, all right, that's it. So for sure, luckily I hit that rule. Don't watch Peter Grill. It's not that great.
I
Um,
wasn't gonna watch it. It was not. It's not on my list at all.
yeah,
So.
but I meant like for those who are listening and who are also
Oh,
interested in
okay,
it.
okay.
If you actually do like it, I would love to hear as to why, because I think you're in a in a small majority here or minority here. Um, I don't know, man. You're gonna like some weird stuff if you like that anime, but I will not judge. You have every right to do what you want to like.
Hmm.
That's just not my cup of tea, right? So,
Right.
that is my reactions to the summer 2020 anime. We're gonna hear Rafa's
Whoa.
reactions on the next pod, so
Excellent.
be
Yes, sir.
definitely on the lookout for that one. But that being said, Rafa, we've talked a lot, man. Oh, nice little
Oh,
stretch
so
right
much
there.
talking.
I think I'm
So much
getting a
talking.
little sleepy.
Oh my God.
Rafa, could you tell us your slept on anime for the week?
Sure. Well, first you gotta wake up, man. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
tell. Well,
Hold
you
on. Let
sleep
me let
like
me.
that.
Just like you took that sip of Gatorade before, I'm gonna take a sip of
Yeah, yeah,
water.
there you go. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that.
Oh my god, delicious water. Rafa, I'm ready. I'm excited. It wasn't coffee, but I still got that energy. Tell me about this slept on anime that you got for us.
Okay, for sure, for sure. I feel like this is stuff on anime. I feel like a lot of people don't know about this anime. I hopefully I am right. If I'm wrong, then well, I'm wrong. But it is called Working. Have you heard of this show called Working?
No. Never heard of
Okay,
that.
all right, good. We are
Golden right now.
uh, we're on the right steps here. Well, that's the English translation. The Japanese name is Wag Wagnaria. Ragnar. I butchered the hell out of that name, but it is a. You already know how I love my slice of life anime.
Mm-hmm.
Slice of life, comedy, with elements of romance in there. But instead of being the I don't want to say the generic, but typically a show like this that's a slice of life comedy with hints of romance that tends to be at a high school, right? That tends to be the thing that we tend to see these shows play out.
Of course.
In, in this show, it's not at a high school. In this show, it's at a family-owned restaurant, and we're following the workers at the restaurant. That's why it's
Hmm.
called Working. So the main character is a high school student. It's this guy who wears glasses, and he likes everything that's small. Like that's his thing. So like
Okay.
he so like he likes little plushies that are small, or like his favorite animal. I think it was a joke or something, but I don't, if I remember correctly. But his favorite animal is like this tiny like microscopic bug or something because it's so tiny. So he just loves tiny things, but like not in a weird sexual way. Like I don't want that to people think that like he likes it just like, oh, it's so cute and small. Like that's just his thing. Like that's the thing he likes or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another girl, a girl that works there she has orange hair and it's short, and she was trained by her dad. Well, she's scared of guys. She's scared of men, right? And her dad pretty much put her up to that. Like, on top of her dad um telling her like how like be afraid of all men, she also like trained her. Like she has like this amazing punch that she'll knock you out like clean. So like they have like a funny dynamic. So it's just like there's just like these quirky characters working at this one restaurant, And then you see their dynamic, you see their interactions with one and each other and things like that. There's like this really cool chef guy who likes one of the waitresses, and but the waitress is like her she carries around a samurai sword also, one of the waitresses
What the
do.
hell? Okay.
And she's like all about the manager, which is this lady. So like, and also the other cool thing is that these characters, they're not all in high school. They all have different ages. So there's some of them are older than other ones. Some are like in their 20s. Some of them are in their 30s or in their 40s. Some of them are in high school. Some of them are starting high school. Some of them are, their last year in high school. So like it's a different range of characters. So you're not always just seeing the high school kids goofing around. It's like you see, different ages, things like that, different perspectives and things like that. It's a really fun, really funny, charismatic show. I really enjoy this show a lot. There's 3 seasons of it, um, and with two of the characters, they kind of, I don't want to say who they are, but two of the characters, they eventually start like feeling getting feelings for each other and stuff like that.
Ooh, okay.
And then if I remember correctly, though yes, okay. So the third season is the last season. So season 3 ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of ends like in a like with it pretty much it wraps up the story for everybody else except for the two characters that I'm talking about. And then there's a special episode afterwards that wraps up really nicely for those two characters.
Oh,
It's
cool.
a
Okay.
really nice thing they did with that too. Also, by the way, if you for the people who end up watching the show and end up loving it, there's also a spin-off to the show where it aired online. It didn't go on TV, but it's just following characters in a different location, in a different restaurant, and they have their own quirks and their own things they do too. So I thought that was really cool, and it's in the same universe. So so the working episode, no, season 1 through 3, it's like it's at this location, like, and then the spin off, it's like down, it's like in the other side of the city, and I guess you can say, at a
Okay.
different location, and then they have their own characters. It's a really fun series. It's a really fun show, and I hope people watch it. The jokes are great. Like the characters are charming. Just a really good show, I think.
Hmm.
I would want, like, I know we're gonna do Anime Swap next, but watch this show. Like, you're really gonna like this show. I'm telling you, you're really gonna like this show.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm recommending it to everybody listening. Well, like, I put in like a little star next to my recommendation, and then next to the star I'm writing, Hector, watch this show. It's really freaking good.
You know
Watch it,
what?
please.
I will indeed actually check this one out along with the episode that you told me for, or rather the show that you're gonna tell me for the next one for this anime swap that's coming up. But I'll definitely watch this one, so we'll have a double whammy for the next one.
For sure. But that's it. That's my recommendation for Slept on Anime. It is called Working. So check it out, guys.
Hmm.
It's on
Okay.
Crunchyroll for sure. So
Ooh, okay. I was literally just about to ask on where to find it. So that being said, guys, as we transition on from what we were just talking about into what we like to call our most favorite, the animeist part of the show, we're gonna talk
mm.
about the one, the only anime swap. Anime swap is the staple here on the Bento Boxcast. Yes, sir. Them shurikens are flying, brother man. But yeah,
Mm.
we're gonna get right into it, guys. I cannot wait to talk about this one because this one should be a little special, right? So, I actually want to start off because I gotta admit, Love Lab was alright. It wasn't my favorite. And I
Okay.
think you told me to come into it with not high expectations either. Um,
Right.
but I actually really did enjoy it. I thought it was A decent anime, right? I actually got up to, let's see, I got up to episode 7 in the show. Um,
Okay, I'm loving it. Yeah,
will I
awesome.
continue? I am not entirely sure. It's probably gonna be one of those animes on the back burner where I'm kind of, yeah, waiting for something new to come out. Um,
Uh,
but I actually really enjoyed it. I love the main character, who, who, I already forgot her name. The wild kid. That's how I know her.
the
Uh,
wild kid, yes, the main
yes,
girl, the girl with the orange hair.
yes. So I actually love her. I love her character
She's
design.
great.
I actually really liked. I don't know if you noticed this, but how her hair kind of changes
It
as
changes, yeah.
as the show kind of goes
Hmm.
on, which I really really liked. I thought it was a cool little Easter egg that they kind of had in there. But I actually love the council president as well, the student council president.
Yes,
Um,
she. I okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
no, no, you're
but
good.
like last week when I recommended you the show, I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna watch some Love Lab, and I sat down and I watched a few episodes, and I was like, bro, I don't remember the student council president being so funny. I enjoyed her shenanigans so much. She slowly crept up on me, like taking my favorite spot of for the my favorite character spot
Hmm.
for that show.
Yeah.
She almost beat the girl with the red hair, but she's my favorite. That's
So
never gonna
I
change.
actually wasn't a big fan of the girl with the red hair.
I love
Um,
her.
I could see why, right? But I
I
wasn't a
love
big
her.
fan of
Yeah,
her. I loved Wild Kid. I swear to God, I can't remember her name, but I just always remember her by her little
Wild
nicknames.
Kid. Yeah.
But she's my favorite. I loved episode 1 from the start. Uh,
Yes. Episode
I
one's
just I
so
just
good.
enjoyed how the girls were obviously because it's called Fuji's Girl Academy or something like that. Um, and how she's just like the one manly girl that everybody likes. And it was just the funniest thing where like the boys are like, "I'm gonna hit the ball, and then it's gonna hit her, and you're gonna save her before it hits her, and all this stuff." And
Yeah.
then Wild Kid just comes in and just catches it like a pro soccer player, and I'm like, "Yo!" And then beams it back at the kid. Like it was the funniest first episode. It was phenomenal. I love the scene where she, spoiler, runs or walks into the room without knocking when it says knock first, and then and then sees the student council president kissing the
Kissing the
pillow.
the body pillow.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so good. It's so good.
I actually found the student council president very funny, kind of like you were saying,
Yes.
because of her. I instantly knew I was gonna like the character when she said, "I drew my ideal man" in the second episode, and
It
the
looks
dude
so
looks
bogus.
ugly and bogus. And I'm like, how is
Yeah.
this an ideal man?
It's
And
so
then when they
good.
animate it in her like little dreams, and he looks just like the body pillow, but with like obviously skin color and everything like that in 3D. I was like, dude, this is so ugly. Also, I think the other scene that 100% solidified my liking of the student council president, and I know I'm talking a lot about her, but I still love Wild Kid the most.
She's
Um,
really good. She's a really good
yeah, she's a
character.
funny character. But when she wanted to do the anime trope where like you run into the person while you're like biting toast,
With yes,
and
because
she
like
bolts at her. That the I was dying because she's like,
such
okay,
a
well I'm
good
just gonna
scene.
turn around the corner and we're gonna bump into each other, and this girl is trucking it at 100 miles per hour, and she's like, if I get hit by
she
this, I'm dead. I was
she was
dying.
Usain bolted down the hallway. Like
So, and I'm only talking about the first 3 episodes. It gets so much better, guys. Trust me.
yeah,
I really did love this. I love the little secretary too, and I love how
she's adorable. The
she's
girl with the bowl
adorable.
cut.
I
Yeah,
love how she always thinks of Wild Kid as Wild Kid. Like anytime she does something, she like always, well, not always, but the one specific scene I'm thinking about, like she almost said Wild Kid out loud. And it was just funny. Um, like I said, the other two characters, I think it was like the treasurer and then the ex president, which is the redhead girl. Like I wasn't a big fan of those two, but those three, the secretary, the president, and then Wild Kid for sure. I love those three. They were great. Wild Kid's still my favorite, but yes,
yeah.
really really enjoyed this. Again, unfortunately, it's going to be more of a back burner, anime than just me finishing out the last like 6 episodes. But um, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a great recommendation for sure.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I knew you were gonna like it. I just knew you were gonna like it. Like this show's way too. It's way too funny. It's way too out there like that. Hector not to like it. I watched by your recommendation was How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say that name right. I like it. I
Oh,
like the show.
okay.
I'd like man, I don't know exactly why I like it. I just like the show. It's I like how the leveling up thing works. Like he has like a tattoo on his back, and I like how you have to kind of devote yourself to a certain god to be able to be an adventurer. Like that's kind of cool. Um, and I also like how like the gods like even like they really don't they can't use their powers and things like that. And um, I'm wondering why the goddess girl, the girl with the like with the string on her boobs or whatever.
Oh, Hestia, yeah.
I say yeah, like so why is she so like poor? I guess I don't know. Like she's like she doesn't have any followers or like like she's just like everybody else has like this giant following like Loki and Ganesh and I'm trying to think who are the other guys, but all these other gods are out there, and they all have their group, their crew, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and this girl, she just has nobody. She just has this guy, Bell or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So like, I'm wondering why. Why is that? Well, what happened? Pretty much, because she was a goddess. Why? How is nobody following her? It's not a nitpick. I'm not complaining. It's just that's just my thought process. Like, hopefully they look into that or they explain it later on. I'll be very interested. I'm very interested to see why are they in the scenario they're in, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just them two. They don't have any money. They're poor. The guy's like super low leveled or whatever. How did they get themselves in that situation? But I do like I said, it's kind of like a video game. He has to kind of grind through to kind of level up or whatever. And I really like how he eventually got that the blade in episode 3,
Yeah.
and then he pretty much now he could really do his thing, really mess things up. Now that he beat that giant monster. I thought that was really cool. The action scenes were great. I really enjoyed the action scenes. The comedy's great. It's funny. It's a funny show. I like the what's your name again? The goddess.
Hestia?
Nessie, she's my favorite. I love her. She's funny. She's adorable. She's just a really fun character. I always enjoy her on screen.
Mm-hmm.
When she's on screen, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. She's great. Um, I found it funny where at the end of episode 3, she had to be like a maid or something to like the girl who made the knife for her. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, so she's dressed up kind of like a little maid outfit type of thing, and she's like all embarrassed. I'm like, bro, you're like more naked in your regular clothes, and you're embarrassed by this. Like, I found that funny. I like the characters like Loki. Loki's hilarious. The god or the goddess there, and yeah, it's like they took the time to really build this world pretty much in these 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it caught my interest. I want to see where this guy goes. Yeah, how strong does he get? Because he has that power where if he's focused and he's like kind of has like that mindset of like a goal in mind pretty much, then he could really level up type of thing, because he wants to get with the blonde hair girl, pretty much. So like that's the reason why he's leveling up so fast or whatever. And it's pretty obvious who I don't know if it's the main bad guy to the whole story, but it's pretty obvious who is the main or who's the bad guy right now in the 3 episodes. It's the waitress lady, the one that like told him, "Hey, come in, eat some food." Like it's pretty obvious it's her. She's a goddess. I'm assuming that's what I got from it, and she's trying to take the
Oh.
main guy from her, from the main girl, right? Like, am I hitting something here?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You
Wow.
are
Okay.
you are
Well.
completely wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to hear. 'Cause I thought I had this figured out. Okay. All right, yeah, no, I liked it. It had really funny moments. The action scenes were great. The animation itself was really smooth. The comedy was great. You like these characters, and yeah, it's like it's building up pretty much. Like
Hmm.
it's not there was in a certain point that I was like, oh my God, like this certain scene really stood out to me, or this certain scene stood out to me. Just in general, just a really fun watch.
Ooh,
Um, and
fantastic.
and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to where it's gonna go from here. It still doesn't beat Tower of God. Tower of God is just it's still my number one.
Dope.
Like that's my show right now is Tower of God. But if I would put it, it'll be my like from your recommendations, it'll be maybe like in my top four. I
Ooh,
enjoyed it.
okay,
Yeah.
sick. I mean, hey, top four is still really good. I'm not mad at that. I'm gonna hit you with the future sensational. Uh,
Mm.
that's great. I'm really glad you liked it. Another great week for Anime Swap, of course.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean, we both enjoyed each other's recommendations, so that's super solid. But that being said, we got to do it again, obviously, right? Because this is our most favorite part of the anime. Rafa, I actually want to start off with you this time around. Let us know. I think you already did before, anyways. Let us
I
know
did.
what the recommendation for next week is going to be.
I kind of did spoil it earlier because I was just such in shock that you've never heard of the melancholy of Haru Suzumiya. Um, it is about this girl. Well, it's really about this guy. The story follows this guy who befriends this girl who, in a sense, is God.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. Okay.
yeah, she is God, but she doesn't know that she's God. So it's pretty much is the way that it works is that Haru Suzumiya, which is the main girl, she's the best. She's one of my favorite. If I had like a top five of like favorite anime girls
Hmm.
ever, she's in the top five for sure.
Wow.
I
Okay.
love this character. I love this character. She's one of the best characters. I love this character. I hope I'm don't let me hype it up too much for you. 'Cause
Okay.
I feel like I hype things up for you and then you watch it and then you're not at the same level as I am.
I mean, I'm
But
not gonna lie. This whole the god concept, it's kind of cool. I already like. I'm kind of intrigued knowing that. So I definitely
yeah.
want to see where it goes.
So like for example, she's like, "Oh man, I want some cake." And then somehow some way the universe provides a cake.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like something like that, right?
Uh huh.
So then uh so I don't want to explain too much about that side of thing. Like, if she gets mad or she's upset, the world kind of starts kind of screwing up in a sense.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like the main guy and like the group of friends she makes, the ones that know about what's going on, they kind of have to like course correct it, like kind of make her not feel shitty or feel bad or whatever.
Ooh. Okay.
It's like this kind of type of thing, but it's funny. It's a really fun show. It is you love these characters. Like the main guy, I forgot his name. I think it's Keon. He is like he's the straight lace guy. He's a straight guy pretty much.
Okay.
Like he's the serious guy, and then everybody else is like the wacky, silly characters, the funny characters. Um, season one is great. Season two this is the thing. Season two almost killed the show for me
Hmm. Okay.
because what I talked about earlier about the whole 8 episode things,
Yeah.
right? So if you ever get to that point after watching season two,
Hmm.
um, you're gonna notice when it starts doing that whole eight episode thing. You're gonna notice. If you want, this is what I did. I just looked it up and I'm like, okay, when does it end? Pretty much, and where does like the story continues? Pretty much. I would say either watch the first 2 episodes of that whole like infinite loop type thing they were doing, and then
Okay.
just skip to the episode where it continues because you don't need to see all 8 episodes.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, because it's just repeating the same thing over and over again. It's a waste of time. Okay, and just keep watching it from watch 2 episodes and keep watching it where it stops doing that. Um, and like I said, doing that right there, I was like, man, you guys like really screwed this up. Like you guys could have done so much more, and you guys decided to do this, and like It hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt me. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like put a really bad like stain on the show.
Oof.
But
Okay.
but here it is, Hector. Here is thing the thing that saved the show was it's actually is a movie. It's a
Oh wow.
continuation
Okay.
after season two. It's called The Disappearance of Haru Suzumiya.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm not gonna say a single thing about that movie. I'm gonna keep quiet about that movie, but it literally saved it. It saved the whole thing. Like this was one of those animes that I've seen years ago. Years ago. Like I haven't seen this anime in a long ass time, and I still remember exactly what happens in that movie. I remember.
Okay.
I'm I'm telling you. I'm like, bro, like you're gonna watch you're watching season one, and also another really funny, interesting thing about season one. The episodes are out of order.
What?
This is yeah. This is bro. Oh my god, how are you supposed to me, bro? This is my show. So when the show originally aired, the episodes were out of order.
Like on purpose?
So yes, on purpose.
Oh, okay.
So uh so then you're in a sense I don't remember the exact pattern that it went, but like I'm just as an example, the first episode that aired was the last episode, and then from there it goes to episode five, and then episode two, and episode one. So they're all jumbled up.
That's cool. Okay.
Now and it still somehow works. Now what you can do, Hector, if you want, you can watch it. You can watch it the way it was originally aired, or you can watch it. How do you say
Chronologically.
Yeah, or you can watch it like that. Like the
Like
list.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess up the word. I can't even say it. Like there's a list out there of how the episodes are supposed to go, like
Okay.
time wise, like how like it actually flows chronologically. Oh, I
Not
think I said
bad.
it right.
Yeah.
Right. So like if there's an actual list out there, so you can watch it in that format, or you can just watch it how it aired.
Would
I
you
watched it how
recommend
it aired.
how
I
it
watched it
aired
how it
or
aired.
okay.
Yeah, I just watched it how it aired. And if you want, you can go back and watch it.
In the
Uh,
order that it's supposed to come out?
in the order it's supposed to be, and you're like, oh, that connects with this. Like it's a fun watch. It's a fun
Okay.
watch. Doing it both ways, it's a fun watch. Um, and then episode two dips so freaking hard to the point that you're like, bro, I'm gonna drop this show. But like an angel from heaven descending upon you is the Disappearance of Haru Suzumiya, the movie, and it saves it 100%. And like the it became one of my favorite shows ever
Ooh, okay.
with the movie. Now, I don't remember if the movie ends and kind of wraps things up for the show itself. I know there are spin-offs to the show
Mm-hmm.
dealing with another character, another favorite character in the show. I don't know how that's connected to the story in a sense. I kind of fell off after the movie
Oh, okay.
with the show. I've always wanted to go back and see it again, but I don't know if there's an actual continuation or if it's like its own separate thing. I'm not 100% sure with that. But if you just stop watching with the movie like I did, it's still a phenomenal watch.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah,
Well, let's see. Hopefully, I get into it. I think I definitely am gonna watch it in the way you watched it. So just going from episode one, whatever that is, right, and then continuing from there.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. I mean, if it's such an iconic show as you're saying it is, then I really hope I like it. And do you know exactly where I could find it, like on Crunchyroll, Hulu, or Netflix?
I might. I think it's on Crunchyroll.
Okay, then I'll look into it then for sure. But that being said, my recommendation for you is a little bit of I don't know, it's a little bit of a doozy. I'm not entirely sure if you have watched this show before. I know we've talked about it before, and I know you know about the I don't want to say iconic, but the very interesting first episode. If you see where I'm coming at, Um, I want you to watch Goblin Slayer.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. The second you said about the episode 1 or whatever. Okay.
So I want you to watch Goblin Slayer. For those of you that may partake in this journey with Rafa, episode 1, it is a very vivid and intense and grotesque scene. In more ways than one, it is very adult rated, I guess, right? It has some very interesting and adult-ish topics that is not for the faint of heart, but I think overall, aside from that crazy stuff, it's still a good watch. I think I like the action in it. I love the party system type vibes of like video games. It's a interesting piece of anime, right? Of course, like I said, episode 1 was very not plagiarizing. It's polarizing. There you go.
Polarizing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was very polarizing, but I for sure want to see what you think about it. Of course, 3 episodes in, I want to see what you end up coming out with, right? If you're going to continue it or not. So I'm definitely interested to see what you think on this one.
Okay, for sure. Oh, yeah.
I'm really nervous on that one for sure. I'm definitely very, very nervous.
I'm also nervous because I know what happens in episode 1. So.
Yep. So be prepared, my friend, and that goes for everybody watching as well. But to address those watching, like I said, guys, this is it. We're at the end, unfortunately, of our pod today. Man, oh man, we've become some chatty Cathys, but it's some good entertainment, man. I hope you guys really do enjoy what we do come out with every single week, every Friday morning, of course. And that being said, Rafa, I just want to see if you have any closing statements for us before I plug all of the things we need to plug for the beautiful viewers out there.
I just want to say thanks to John for helping us out with the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I was having some crazy technical difficulties left and right.
It did.
That week for us was pretty wild to just try to get that episode out. We had to record it and re-record it and this and that and the third and just so shout out to John for pulling through for us like that. Frick Alex. That's all I got.
We're gonna try to keep it at a minimum with that, but shout out the better Cordero brother. I'm just gonna keep it like that. And the other Cordero, I mean, you know what you are.
Oh, yikes.
That being said, guys, of course, if you guys enjoy what you guys are listening to on everything that's out there for us to put us out there, right? So the Spotify, of course, follow us on there. You're gonna love it. I promise you that we'll upload every single time there, and it's gonna be some phenomenal content. Of course, if you're here on YouTube, thanks, man. If you like what you see, oh my god, hit that bell, subscribe, so you can get all this anime goodness, because you're going to need it. I mean, come on now. This is the only place you can get this great of an anime dosage directly into your veins, because you need it. You honestly need it. It's the truth, and we need you. That's also the truth. We need you.
Yes, sir.
Because, that being said, share us, guys, because we are doing our best to give you guys the best possible anime content, and we hope that you guys do enjoy, like I said before. But of course, share us out there with everybody and let other people enjoy as well. Let's get this community growing and bumping like crazy. And finally, you can find us on Twitter at Bento Boxcast. Follow us there and see when we tweet out whatever we like to tweet out. Very anime related, as you can tell, of course, no duh. But we also tweet out when the pod is live. So that is a great source for you guys to know when everything is up and at 'em and ready to go. And that's about it, guys. Oh, actually, one more thing before I end this off. Shout out to the Geek Jar guys. Once again, they come in clutch for shouting us out on their pod. And, we just got to show love back. Even though they talk some of the most trash that I've ever, seen out of somebody. Especially the worst Cordero out of the two. I think that they just need to get in their thick skulls, that we need to challenge them to whatever that game mode is that they had. You know what I'm saying? The 2v2 pod. We'll beat them in whatever game we decide to play them in.
Oh yeah, they did put out that challenge.
We accepted the challenge. We took that.
Yeah, we did.
And you know what? I'm still waiting on it, man. I can't wait to whoop their butts in a video game because if you guys didn't know, we also play. Yeah, they're all talk, dude. We all play video games in our friend group, and let me tell you, these two are some of the worst in the friend group, hands down. Honestly, even worse than our friend Pedro. So, I'm telling you guys, like, oof. And Pedro is a nasty, nasty Warzone player.
Oh shit, dude. Let me. I know you already you're trying to wrap it up, but let me just say one little quick thing.
Yeah, of course.
One little small quick thing. Shout out to Pedro.
Oh.
Because he did something that I did not expect from him.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled me to the side and said, "Hey man, let's talk about Digimon real quick." We literally spent at least 2 hours talking about Digimon.
Wow.
And we were talking, like, we could have had a whole podcast, me and Pedro, about Digimon. Because he was trying to debate me about what I was saying about the Digimon movie, how it sucks and how, like, the faces weren't connected and things like that. And he was trying to be like, well, what about this and what about that and this and that. And
Yo.
So we literally sat there and talked about Digimon for 2 hours, at least 2 hours straight. I did not see that coming from Pedro because Pedro, listeners, you beautiful listeners above 18 out there listening, Pedro he's not that type of guy. Right now. Pedro, he doesn't watch anime at all. Like at all. Like he is I don't even know how to describe him. He's like the old man of the group, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it without sounding like I'm talking smack. But like he was the last person I would ever expect that anybody would come up to me like, hey, what about this? What about that? About Digimon the movie? You know? And also, fun fact, Pedro today we're recording, Pedro saw the movie today, and he sent me like 5 pages worth of notes of countering my argument that we talked about, which I do have counters to what he said, but Pedro, he already moved on. He's already done with the conversation. Doesn't want to talk about it anymore. So, but either way, shout out to Pedro. That was I enjoyed that conversation that we had about Digimon. You know, for once, me and Pedro talk about something, we're not arguing or disrespecting each other. So it was a fun talk. So shout out to Pedro for that one.
Shout out Pedro. I'm with him on this. I love the Digimon movie. It was great. You're just a hater. That's all it is. But that being said, guys, like, of course, thank you guys so much for listening. We can't wait for you guys to listen to the next one. It's gonna be a great one as always. And that's about it, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.